Today we're going to show you how to make blankets and bridles for the horses. It doesn't take much yarn, so if Grandma has a little left over, it just takes a little ball to make one. And they're so cute, and the kids they're always looking for accessories. And the blankets and, the bridles, you don't find too much. So you can do it with yarn, or you can turn around and get some of the thread. See all the pretty colors the threads have? But if you're not used to crocheting, the thread will be a little stiffer, a little harder to work with. Okay, but let me show you, because everybody can crochet. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to start it. Okay. Now, to start, first you're going to make your little loop. Okay, and leave just a little one. Just a tiny little one. Then I save some of this little loop here to give it an extra knot or two, just to make sure this sucker won't come apart. Alright. Now, which one do you want to do first? The bridle or the blanket? If you want to start, well, they pretty much both start the same. So we're going to use, I'm going with this one here for a pattern, because this is kind of the general idea of the size of the horses that the kids will get. So we'll start with that one. And what you do after you make your knot, now holding your finger like this and like this. See how that is? That allows your yarn to move smoothly. And because if you have to pull real hard to work it, then you're holding on to it too tight. You just be loose about it. Just like that, okay? And just very loosely put it through. There, whoop. It's hard to do it in front of the camera and still have it where you can see. Then you just keep going like this. Now if you're making a bridle for the big horses, what you would do, well, let me do a few more. Okay, you put this around his mouth to know the size, and that's why you hang on to your little tail, because then you would just put it through and tie knots, just like we did at the very beginning. Tie a couple of knots, and then you just continue with this real long so it goes all the way around. See, all the way around. And then after that, whoops, you would hook it up to the other side, the opposite side. Okay, and that's how you do your bridle. Okay, now to do the blanket, I'll have to start over because I did not count my stitches. To do the blanket, you'll go about 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me tell you about the horses though. What you do is you take this, I got to bring my hand around, and you measure the back of the horse. Now I got 10 and I know I can get 2 more here. But on these poor little ones, they don't need too many. So if you're doing it for the little ones, count like that. Okay? So for him, he still needs 2 more. 1, 2. Now put your finger right on there. And then give 2 more because you've got to start your second row. 1, 2. Now this is how you go. You go around, you go in, you come out, then you grab, and you slide it through. Now, when you're sliding it through, if you have to fight with it, then you're not loose on your fingers. You gotta let it just go. There's no, oh, I gotta hold it tight like that or anything. Just let it go, natural. Then these two are holding here. And this hand's doing its own thing. Okay? And you just keep going. Wow, I'm doing this just by the camera, not by actually seeing it. Getting better. But the yarn is so much easier to work with. Okay, so remember, your fingers are like this. Nice and smooth. Slowly. See? And if you learn this pattern, you can make hats, you can make all kinds of things. So up, go in the next hole, and grab. Then that one there. You got all 3. Then you just go right through. And you just continue till you're done with that. These 2 fingers here kind of hold this guy till you get going. Usually after a couple of rows, you're doing good. But it helps to hold it steady. So see, both hands have a job. And here we are at the end where our knot was. Okay, now to start the next row, you go 1, 2, turn it around. Now you've already done your first one here, so you're going to the second one. If you start there, you're going to be off shape. See, and you just continue. And you do this over and over. And what you're doing is you're going right in between each one of those stitches. So this becomes easy now. You know, once you've done your first row, just go right in the middle. See how you have it? You go right in the middle, right there. There you go. The yarn come. Gotta get that last little thread. There you go. Got 'em. It happens. Go right in between. Pull it up. There you go. Got it. See how easy this is? People think, oh, crocheting, now that's too much work. No, it's not. Look at that. Okay, and you just continue and continue. Now, some of you are probably wondering, how do you turn around and get like right underneath? Well, it takes about 6 rows here. Once you've done it 6 times, then it's pretty much for standard horses. Not when you get to these little ones. These little ones, you kind of have to just fold it in half and see where it lands on their belly and go that way with it and stuff. So they're less. But for the ones about this size, you need like 6 rows going back and forth. Then let me show you. Now I'm using the thread now. Just to show you, thread's a little harder, you know, because it has its stiffness. Here I am. So So I got my 6 rows all in. Now what you do, you know how you did at the very beginning? You just went like this. And how you do your bridle, just like this. This is what you do. You do a whole bunch of these. Isn't that cool how easy that is? Now it's okay that I started this one because my granddaughter has 40-something horses. And so I got 14 done so far. So I know this one will fit another one of the horse, the general size. Okay, so you've made this big string, and what you want to do is come around and check. Oh, definitely way too many. But we want to be able to just go around the neck. So go like this, where your neck is. And you know I only needed to go to there. So I'll take that out. And I know I had too many. So I'll put that in right where I needed it to be. So I had way too many stitches. Whoops. I was busy showing you. Okay. So you just put it where it was. Take it all the way back to there. Okay. And then you continue. Because this is where it's going to go. Go all the way to his first one. Okay, so we wrap, we go in, we pull it up, then we go through all 3. Now see how it's a little stiffer. You have to really make sure you get in the middle. So if you're new to crocheting, you're going to want to use yarn. All those on the table are done with yarn. I just have one of those horses that really looks good this way with the thread, because it's kind of rainbow color horse. They all have names, believe it or not. She has a name for everybody. They all have names. Okay, so you go through like this, and then remember how you started at the very beginning. Okay, I have to see. I can't go by the camera on this one. A little too hard sometimes. There we go. Okay, so you continue like that, and then when you turn it around and you come back this way, you put the same thing right here, just like you did at the very beginning. And for the bigger horses, you need 2, maybe 3. It depends on the body size. Because like I have, well, I got 3 rows here on this one. Let me see if I got one. Well, this one here was only a 2, but he's really different. He's one of them, you press the button on top. So I had to work with the button, but also his behind was a lot bigger. So that one there was made completely different. So, but that's how you do it. You just continue with it, and then when you come back, you just give it the row. Now I'll show you how to end. Okay. I'm going to take this one back apart here, just so I can show you how it goes. Okay, now when you come to an end, and you want to end like on making your blanket, or end on making the bridle, all you have to do is take your scissors, cut your string, put it right through, pull on it. There you go. You're done. Okay? So you pretty well got the picture here. Okay? So have fun, enjoy, and it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. All just the little scraps that Grandma might have hanging around and stuff. It's all it takes is little scraps. Because if you buy a whole thing of yarn, make yourself a hat, and then you still have some left to do that. But if you learn this pattern, you can make hats, you can make these horse things, you can make blankets, you can do everything with it. So if you got a gift you want to buy, instead of buying, buy the yarn. Make it yourself. You know, like if you have a younger sister or a niece or a granddaughter and they got a doll with, you know, in a bed, you can make little blankets and everything. I make them for big beds. Mine's a queen size bed and I've made one for my bed. So this is all the fun you can have with yarn. So learn this pattern and always remember, be loose with your yarn. Be really, really loose. Okay, loose. And then you're all set. Don't tighten up, don't close it. Nice and loose, let it flow. And you'll be all set. All right, hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you get to use it and have fun making gifts. Why buy the gifts? You can make it. Very easy. Very cheap. They got a couple of horses. Do that and they'll love it. It's hard to get accessories for horses. Like my granddaughter who's got 40-something of them. Probably more. She says, well, if you count my babies, I probably got 100. And it's like, oh my God, I thought these were babies. Well, there's some even smaller than this. I don't know about making blankets for that. It's going to be tiny. It's going to be like 3 or 4 stitch only. Because some of these are only like, you know, maybe 6 to 8, depending on the size. So I grab the horse and I make it to fit the horse. You know, but if you're making it, if you can get the horse and make it and then give it, you're good. But I told her, just bring me 10 horses. So I'm doing some batches. Eventually she'll have them all. So I'm going to learn to make other accessories, but for right now, it's the horse. All right, bye-bye now.